Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University with a joint faculty appointment at Ross University School of Medicine. I wanted to talk about the idea of One Health and how health is influenced by the environment and our interaction with the animals as there's habitat encroachment becomes more and more frequent. And so this results in vector-borne diseases, but not only that, this also necessitates our understanding of how far back our knowledge of the interface between human and animal goes back. And so instead of going for a scientific approach to this, I decided to take a little bit of a different approach. This is somewhat of an anthropological approach. So it's a little different than what you may be used to hearing me talk about. So let's get started. So why is it so important to understand hybridization? And what is hybridization? What is therianthropy? Therianthropy is the hybridization between human and animal. And it's the first time, it's the recognition that there is an interface between human and animal from a consciousness perspective, from a shamanic perspective, where there's kind of an interface and the ability to have communication between human and animals and how they're connected. So this duality and the breaking of this duality and is what this is about, and it's fascinating. The animal-human interface actually has been described for 70,000 years. More so, Therians today, there are individuals today that claim to have similar experiences. What are some of the later gods? And these gods are much more recent than what I'm going to share with you in a moment. Anubis to Osiris, and then Pashupati, who was also connected with animals, and the transition to Shiva is a more monotheistic, incorporated deity, similar to Osiris. And then Quetzalcoatl is also similarly a deity with feathered bird and serpent characteristics. And of course, I included centaurs with terms of Greek mythology with horse body, human head. But these are much later. Let's go far back now. Now let's go back 43,900 years ago to Sulawesi, Indonesia, where one of the hunt scenes are shown. And this is an Anoa, very aggressive sort of bull, and it charges very rapidly. And these therianthropes are very close by. They resemble human reptile Anoa interface. And so 6 therianthropes are visible in here. There's actually a total of 8, but I only chose to focus on these. So this is the hunt, and if you look closely on the left, you can kind of see these hybridizations taking place. So moving onward, below is the reference. It's partially covered by my face, and I apologize for that, but Again, these are 4 to 8 centimeters tall. These are very small figures compared to the Anoha, and they're using ropes and spears to combat. And so this is some sort of symbolic representation, perhaps, as well, but it stands to reason what the actual anthropomorphic bodies represented. And heads and other body parts that are animal-like in form. So again, reptilian, and Anoan. So I transitioned to now a little bit more recent, going to 17,300 years ago. And this is known as the shaft scene of Lascaux cave in France, and it's the oldest hunt scene in Europe, and this is known as Birdman on the left, and this is actually part of the cave art, and then on the right there's a figurine that's been created from the cave art, which is an interesting lion man, and this is a pretty, should I say, far back of a lion deity, or cave art, therianthropy. These therianthropic figures do get incorporated later on, much later, into the more current deities that we're familiar with, and any more recent shamanic practices. But this was part of the original consciousness connection that may have been attempted, and a lot of this entailed using hallucinogenic sort of approaches to get these experiences. Anyway, so this wraps up my introduction into and understanding of therianthropy, and how this was an early attempt to kind of provide an insight into One Health and the human-animal environment interface, and where this all began. Thank you for listening.